All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, I got the t-shirt on, and I haven't featured this in a while, so I figured I'd throw it out there and let folks take a look at Grand Design. I think they autographed that with a silver pen, silver marker. It's kind of cool. Their album is called Five, or V, if you're not into Roman numerals. Could be V or Five, right? Um, Good marketing, good packaging. This is kind of like Cinderella and Def Leppard. The singer is very unique. Either you're going to like the guy or you're not going to like the guy. And I think I've said that before. Overall, I like it. If you like Rob Marati, I think you'll like Grand Design because the vocals are kind of in the same area, the same sound. The band actually has a brand new song out called Tough It Out. And again, if you like the music of Cinderella or Def Leppard, man, I could do a whole video about Cinderella. I really owe Cinderella a video. And I will do something in the future, hopefully, about Cinderella. But anyway, check out this album. They have a brand new one coming out soon. The new song is called Tough It Out, and the new album is called Rock, RAWK. And I like it. Overall, I like it. Again, vocals are interesting and very unique. So give the boys some credit. At least they don't have a guy that sounds like Cookie Monster singing lead vocals. Styx, a long time ago, the band Styx, I'm shifting gears here. They had a vocalist, but they decided to proceed without him. His name is Dennis DeYoung. They replaced Dennis with Lawrence Gowan, and that was back around what, the year 2000, 1998 or so. Almost the same time that Journey and Steve Perry parted ways. So kind of interesting parallel there. And there are some similarities. Dennis DeYoung had some health issues, and he told the guys to wait for him. He said, "Wait, I'm coming. Just give me some time." He had a real nasty flu bug, and then he had light sensitivity issues, and those issues, I think, have lingered on. So it was a really sort of life-changing illness for Dennis DeYoung. But the boys in Styx didn't want to wait. So they moved on, and they got Larry from Canada, who's got the cool spinning keyboard that everybody loves so much. It makes for a great concert to see somebody playing a spinning keyboard. Actually, it's kind of cool. It's theatrical. It's interesting. And the casual fans like it. What I don't like, and I really thought, you know what? What's the point of doing another video about Styx? But these articles get written where, for instance, there's this article out there talking about Cyclorama. Okay, that's an album Styx did back in 2003. It was the first album without Dennis DeYoung. I think Glenn Burtnick was still kicking around. And obviously Lawrence Gowan was there. And of course, the critics, even though when it came out, I'm pretty sure that critics either ignored it or probably said it was mediocre and it wasn't all that great. There may have been a couple of decent reviews for it. But it's interesting because the agenda now is, hey, there's no Dennis DeYoung on this album. So this is a bona fide rock album. Because, you know, one thing that they do make clear is that, hey, Styx, they're reasserting their rock credentials here without Dennis. And this guy, Lawrence Gowan, who had several hits in Canada, it's kind of a big deal up in Canada, but nobody knew who he was here in the USA. Nobody. I mean, maybe a few people who were really into the AOR scene knew about Lawrence Gowan, but very few people did. Not that he was the worst replacement, but he certainly doesn't sound like Dennis DeYoung, vocally speaking. And Dennis, whether you like him or not, he's got that almost classically trained singing voice. If you go and watch some of his stuff that he did right after Styx kicked him out, like early 2000s, He did a concert with a full orchestra, and it's just stunning how well he sings. And he's still pretty much there. You know, I don't know, like today, if he can still do what he did maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but if you watch concerts back in 2014, 2017, even up until prior to the thing-demic, Dennis was pretty much money in the bank. If you'd go see him, you'd get the full experience. But the thing I don't like about this revisionist classic rock rehabilitation, whatever you want to call it for Styx, is that they make it sound like Dennis was this big troublemaker. Everybody, back in the day seemed to get along great. I mean, there's no way they could have recorded the songs that Dennis had for the band if they weren't getting along at all. Again, people just say, look, Dennis wanted to be Barry Manilow. He was hanging out with Liza Minnelli. He was, doing this hunchback thing. He was more into theater. Well, these concept albums, are very theatrical. If you're going to do the Grand Illusion or Paradise Theater, those are kind of theatrical albums. And yes, God forbid Kilroy was here, right? Because that's the worst album in the history of the world, according to the current lineup of Styx and the rock media. Even though, Rubato had to be played, the band had to play Rubato because fans were wondering, hey, isn't that a Styx song? How come you guys don't play Mr. Rubato? Well, it's from that album that broke up the band, even though the band got back together again. And at one point, they got back together without Tommy Shaw, and they hit the top 10 with a song called Show Me the Way. And that's the power of Dennis DeYoung and his songwriting ability. But to say that Styx wasn't a rock band when Dennis was in it, sure, the band had more pop tendencies, songwriting tendencies when Dennis was in there, and it wasn't trying to be straight up progressive rock. It was trying to be a lot of different things. And I think that's what made Styx kind of unique. The other thing is it made Styx a lot of money. When you write hit songs that are still on the radio today, those songs bring in a lot of revenue. And Dennis, with Rubato, with Show Me the Way, with Babe, which is the most hated song ever for these hardcore, Tommy fans. That song is still on the radio, Tommy. It's still on the radio, getting spins all over the world every single day. The Best of Times. I mean, these songs are iconic, and you don't have to, be a wimpy dude to like the Styx ballads, just like you don't have to be a wimpy dude to like the Journey ballads or the REO ballads. I mean, Styx hung out with REO Speedwagon for a number of years, and they had some of the most iconic wimpy ballads in the history of wimpy balladdom, if that's a word I just made up. But you know what I'm talking about. It only applies here because for some reason they just don't like Dennis. And, it's a personality issue. It's Dennis maybe wants to be somewhat controlling and he wants to be in charge of things, and he's a natural born leader. And you got 3 alpha males between him and JY and Tommy, and maybe a couple of other guys in the band now. Maybe Lawrence. I don't know. I think Larry's just happy to be there. He's had a gig for a very long time, and he probably wouldn't have succeeded in the future up in Canada or here in the United States. So that must have been a great phone call for Lawrence Gowan to get, right? But my problem is the revisionism. Styx is a great band, but they're a better band with Dennis DeYoung. That's all I'm saying. And, it's too late. It's too late for the reunion now. It should have happened last year, probably, or it should have been booked for this year, maybe. I had some hope that it might be something that would happen. In fact, I had heard that there were negotiations happening, but every single time they just fell through because of Tommy and JY, who just insisted they didn't want all the money. They didn't want all the publicity. And Dennis, here's the punchline here. Dennis just wanted to come back one more time. And then these guys can do all of the experimental concept Pink Floydian cyclorama albums that they want to. You know, I think Styx should try to be Styx and not attempt to be Queen or the Beatles or Pink Floyd. I mean, Styx had a sound, and Dennis and Tommy together were responsible for that very familiar sound. So, and even JY. Let's give JY a little bit of credit, right? But in any event, folks, I will wrap up this video with Grand Design. This is 5. They've got a new album coming out. It's called Rock, R-A-W-K, for folks that can't spell right. And they're pretty good. Def Leppard meets Cinderella. Some great vocals, some great guitars, kind of a wall of sound, a little Mutt Lange. Is that a word? No, it's not. But anyway, you know who Mutt Lange is. It's a little Mutt Langish. So check it out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.